For today's podcast, I put up a question box. Man, we've got like 5 pages worth of questions.
I was going to say 5 questions.
No, yeah. And 2 people submitted. Welcome to the Coach 'em Up podcast. My name is Tim Riley. Zach Zillner's not with us today, though we miss him. A moment of silence for Zach. Now that moment of silence is over, I would like to remind everybody that there are 2 types of people on planet Earth. There are subscribers and there are non-subscribers. For all of you non-subscribed listeners and viewers, I need to level with you. You don't have to keep living this way. There's a better way to live life. Join us in the light, on the winning side. The word surrender means to join the winning side. You think about that, and then you smash that subscribe button. Now that that's over, I'm joined with the legend himself, the GOAT of Ireland, David Gray. David, how are you, man?
I'm good, Tim. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you, man. I'm glad you're back in town.
Your surrender quote, you told me that last time we were in the truck.
Really?
In whenever that was, March, yeah.
I wonder what we were talking about. Maybe it was about arguing with the wives.
I think so. But yeah, you said, someone told me one day, a very wise quote.
Yeah.
Surrender is joining.
To join the
It's
winning
not giving
side.
up, it's joining the winning side.
Join the winning side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very wise.
Yep. Give us the update, man. What have you been up to? What's been going on in your world?
I just came to Austin to see you. You know,
That's not the only reason.
The way Rogan he just clicks his fingers and people come.
Hey, I need a guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I had my assistant reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, you've had some exciting stuff going on professionally recently.
So I just came from Oklahoma. I was with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
No big deal.
Days. Yeah.
Did you see how I had to pull that out of him? He wasn't going to say it. He wasn't going to mention it. You were just with the NBA champions, helping facilitate a little workshop there for their staff, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
It was good. It was really good. So I've never worked with an NBA team directly before. I've worked with players and staff and kind of consulted on cases and stuff like that. But Andrew Paul, who's the director of Rehab and Performance, he reached out to me, could have been 3 months ago now, and he asked me basically to come over. So then I got more interested in, I've been working with a lot of basketballers, so I've started to kind of watch some basketball, but it's not easy in Ireland to watch basketball because it's on so late, and at least American sports, right? But so I could see they kept winning. And I was like, please God, win.
This Thunder team's pretty good.
So I was like, Kira, there's a good chance I'm going to be going over to the NBA champions here.
Yeah.
Please fucking win. So yeah. So I was going to pretend that like they won and then they asked me to come in to like make them better. But actually, no, they asked me in before. And, no, it was extremely... I was quite nervous. I don't usually get nervous for workshops and stuff, but I was a little bit nervous. And I went in and Andrew kind of put me at ease straight away because he said that they've been using some of our work along the way. He'd bought our programs and like, to be honest, you should get him on the podcast. Yeah. He's one of the most impressive guys I've ever met. Like very rarely can I walk away from a team or I meet lots of impressive people, don't get me wrong, but he knew everything that I knew better than me. Plus he has to do all of these other things in his job as well. Right. Like, so much involved in
he's director of multiple roles, really, right?
I don't know the rehab. It's rehab and performance. Yeah. Most of their staff seem to be both physio and S&C. They're both of those things.
See, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And because I think like you have to go and work even in the off season, a lot of them were off in... One guy just flew back from Hong Kong for the workshop. He was over working with a player in the off season because they make sure that their development continues. If it's important, not with every player, but some players need, like they can't have a bad month, let's say. Yep. Because they might have something to rehab or they just need to make sure that they have a good month. So there was things like that, but they were a very humble group of people. They brought me in to teach them a few things and like, they're the NBA champions.
Yeah.
So it was really cool for me. It was really cool.
It's cool to hear organizations like that, which the Thunder, I think, at this point, and they have been for a while, have been recognized in the league, and even if you don't know much about the NBA, as being one of those organizations that is pushing the envelope, and their development has been, certainly this year, it was talked about leading a lot into the playoffs and then into the finals, about how masterful a job they've done developing their players. And obviously, you know, S&C and Rehab and, you know, the whole performance staff plays a big role in that.
I think we play that down a lot, don't we? Like, we always, obviously we say the S&C coach isn't the reason that the team won.
Right.
But
We do. I do it.
We all do it. Of course we do.
yeah.
Like, we never try and take credit for
100%.
an athlete's, because it's not down to us. But also, like, a bad coach can fuck things up. Right?
You're right.
So we should,
I wonder, can a bad, you know, proportionally speaking, can a bad coach fuck things up far worse than a good coach can bring things?
Yes.
It can
I
elevate.
would say definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do
so much harm.
German volume training the week of an Olympic for Usain Bolt, like the week of the final. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. I had a gut feeling he needed to squat deeper and more frequently.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, gamble didn't pay off.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it was good. And then I came here to see you.
Nice. Yeah. How long ago was it? You were here last.
I think it was March or April. So I made the mistake of, like, I'm doing a little bit of a vlog of the trip, and I was down in the park this morning at 10 a.m. And I was saying it's actually not, because you told me how hot it was going to be.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not actually that hot here today. My time zone, I'm all over the place with times. I was like, it's not that bad. Tim said it was going to be really hot, but it's okay.
Yeah.
And I had a 15-minute walk back to the
fuck's
hotel.
Tim talking about?
Yeah. By the time I got back to my hotel, I was drenched in sweat.
Yeah. That is a shared Texas. Congratulations, you are one of us now. That's that. You've been fully consummated into Texas now. Actually, the only thing we need to do is get you over to some proper barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though you are getting Jay Carver's steak tonight. Those of you who live in Austin or around or have been, you know that David's in for a real treat.
Cool. How have you been? What have you been up to? A lot?
Yeah. I've been up to a lot. Jesus, man. So a lot of podcasts. By the time we're recording this and the date is, and who knows, maybe I talk to the editing team and have them drop this, you know, bump it up to the front of the line. But it's August 21st. And dude, I've been doing so many podcasts. I've got probably 10 or 12 that just haven't been released yet, that are just lined up to release. And then Apex is happening. So we had our first Apex event, and dude, look, I've been planning on doing something like this. I've been chewing on it. Like, I've wanted to do this for so long. And I talked about it finally in a public setting with Blaine on the podcast. And then the feedback we got between that podcast and then a few weeks later at the seminar, I was like, shit, I should have opened my fucking mouth, dude. Now I have to do this, you know? And honestly, I think it probably still is one of those things that I just keep talking about that is like an idea. I don't know that I ever get around. It's hard to say, but certainly I wouldn't have been pushed to do it now, you know? So there is something very real about putting things out into a very public space, you know? The fear of letting everybody down really drives me.
Yeah. Fear of failure. Yeah. Fear of looking like an idiot. Yeah. But we spoke about earlier though that, like, you don't know what that's going to become, the Apex thing.
No.
It could be humongous in a couple of years. It could be completely dead.
Yep.
But it's cool for you right now.
Yes.
So it's not like you're doing it and it will only be worthwhile if it becomes something. You're doing it, people are already tagging you. I could see you looking at, like, videos of even Kira and Mimi and our
everybody
staff,
back home in Ireland.
You were just laughing at a video of Mark, one of our coaches, who nearly
hit himself in the
face with the medicine ball throw. So, like, you know, you're already getting joy out of watching people doing shit.
You're right. I'm having so much fun with it, and I'm so excited about it.
So it doesn't have to be like,
No.
obviously you want it to be a big success.
Yeah.
But you get all the gains along the way of like, this is fun.
Yeah.
So that sounds like the perfect venture for me.
I'm planning the first open event, which again, depending on when we decide to release this, it'll like already have happened.
Sorry for just hearing about it.
But we're looking at a weekend. I'm not going to give a specific date, but because we're not ready to announce it yet, but like late October, so that we have enough time to, have something that I can be really proud of. That like, we're going to nail this the best we can for doing something for the second time that hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
But yeah, identifying people who want to be a part of it. Shout out Les Spellman. Les and I had actually talked about this prior to me even discussing it on a podcast where, I had posted about it on Instagram. That's what it was. And he hit me in the DMs. He said, let's talk. And he had his own version of kind of what he had been thinking about. And then, he's so busy, I'm so busy. We didn't continue to connect on it or whatever. I'd be like, I'll call you Wednesday, and then I'd forget. And then he'd be like, fuck, I'll call you. And then he'd forget, classic. And then I did the thing, and he hit me up and he was like, let's do it. So Les is in, and it's been cool to have and then like the way the Instagram's blown up and people tagging me and people doing Apex on their own, and which is what I want, dude. Like I want, and shout out, forgive me if you're a listener to the show, whoever you are, someone tagged a video of them, because athleticism is the sport, is the idea behind Apex, is the concept. By the way, go follow Apex Athlete Official. I'm sorry, apexathlete.official if you want to learn more about what Apex is. But someone tags me and he said, finally, I have something to train for.
So you've taken that.
Immediately when I read it, but I was like, because that's what I wanted. Like I want to create a community of people who are as excited about training that way as I am, who are going to have something I want to compete, dude. Yeah. Pickup basketball is not cutting it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's when I stopped playing Gaelic football and hurling. I stopped fucking training altogether.
Yeah.
Most people keep training. I was just like, you know what? It was several things. I had got a couple of bad concussions.
Well, you were all fucked up.
I had a couple of bad concussions, and like when I pushed myself, I felt kind of a bit nauseous. I was getting really busy with business. I was sick of being in the gym.
Yeah.
And but I would have fucking probably done something like that, So it's cool. Good job, man.
And now I see your wife doing broad jumps. Your wife is a good athlete, dude.
Yeah. She's much better than me. Yeah. I'm just praying that Matty gets Kira's genes and like my skin, we always say, because I can get a tan, she just stays white and freckly.
Yeah, me and Kira are of the same.
But if she gets Kira's knees, hips, Achilles, and everything
just
else.
your skin tone.
Yeah.
The kid's going to be unfucking stoppable.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, you got a beautiful son.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you guys.
Man.
Yeah, the other thing too, I haven't announced this. I've been teasing it, but I'm opening a gym.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes. He's lying. He fucking knew.
Tell us more, Tim.
So yeah, it's going to be called, the name was picked before I came on board and I've grown to love it. It's going to be called This Gym. And the idea behind that is like everything that we're going to grow off of that. And I don't want to get into too detailed around the vision for that, but let's just say we had something called This Creatine or This Way. So there's a lot of branding opportunity there, and I've been blessed and fortunate to be having conversations with Sorinex and Play and Aleco, and I get to build the gym exactly how I want to. And there are some people, and I again, there's so many things I can't really share, but there are people who have been on this podcast who have verbally committed to come work with me and be on the training staff and help me build the thing.
It's not me, by the way.
And well, listen now, because he beat me to it. I desperately, anyone who knows me well knows I've been trying to get David and his wife to move to Austin because I think that they would just, for all the stereotypes about Austin, it is one of those places. If you're excellent at what you do and you're ambitious, it's really the Wild West, and you know, you can grow. And so anyway,
Well, we were in the gym today and we met some cool people.
yes,
there.
Kevin Hart's trainer boss was dropping in. He just, you know, because Kevin Hart, I don't know if anyone listening or watching knows this, but I work at the C4 Performance Center, C4 Energy. Kevin Hart was an investor in C4.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And that investment has done well. C4 is doing really well.
Yeah.
And his friend and longtime personal coach, Boss, he and Kevin come in and train from time to time. And whenever Boss is in town, he'll just drop in, and him and his boys roll in, and they've got the camera crew and they throw down. And so it was cool. You got to be there.
Yeah.
And
well,
to
he
see
came
that.
over. He came over to Tim. He was doing a fucking really heavy trap bar deadlift or something. He came over and he was like, "My groin is a bit tight." He hadn't met me, and Tim just goes, "David can fix it." So Tim just bigs me up to everyone.
Well,
and I'm like, "No, I don't think I can fix it." And he's like, "I'm telling you, he can fix it."
Yeah, David's like, "No, I don't know." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And so because he does this. Is this an Irish thing? You don't, because the humility. Is this something you do, or is this a?
It's an Irish thing that, like, look, I'm. People listening to this would be like, "You are not a humble person or whatever," because you have to big yourself up online. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
You've no choice.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to go to Oklahoma City Thunder and not put a picture on Instagram saying,
Yeah.
I'm this guy from a city in Ireland who just they flew me over.
Right.
By the way, when I was getting out of my Uber, like getting dropped at the facility, the Uber driver was like, he was talking to me about basketball all the way there.
Right.
And then he was like, "Are you a fucking player?" or something. I was like, "No, you haven't. Have you not seen me?" Like,
He must not have watched you walk to the car. He waited for you to get in and just gave you a glance, you know.
yeah. But no, there's something called tall poppy syndrome, which is like, if you try and poke your head up, you get chopped down.
Really?
Yeah. So like, look, people want you to do well, but also you shouldn't speak about
But
yourself
don't gloat.
doing well.
Yeah.
The American thing is almost the opposite, I would say.
Yeah.
Which is, we spoke about that a little bit. It's a bit like that's why I get a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because everyone is trying to show how great they are.
Yep.
And that's not a thing in Ireland.
Yeah. See, it's funny because one of my favorite things to do is to talk about how great the people are that I like. I really do. I enjoy it. I like to hype my friends up.
That's such a good trait, though.
And so I unapologetically, I was like, David, I'm like, well, David should be the guy you should talk to, boss, about your cranky groin. And David's like, no. And I was like, I said, what the fuck? I said, don't let him do that. He just got here from Oklahoma City. He was with the Thunder, and boss's eyes lit up. I was like, I'll connect you guys. So anyway, yeah. And in fact, I've probably done that to you twice now. I forget where else we were. I had to do it to him again. I might have been on the same gym floor.
Yeah, it was. It was 2 minutes earlier with someone else.
Yeah. I found training, the podcast. I obviously I can yap, so this has worked out for me really well. And but I think I would have made a really good hype man.
Yes. Yeah.
Just in the background of some rock band or rappers.
Just warm the crowd up for a minute or something.
Just sick them. Go get them, Tim. Turn me up.
Yeah.
Get them. Yeah.
Probably not the best environment for you to be in, though.
No.
Touring with a.
Well, I would have died. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if I was Post Malone's hype man? I haven't slept for 3 days. I've got a white substance rubbed all over my face. My eyes are red.
Yeah.
I'm just sweating the alcohol as I drink it. Yeah.
At least you would have been good at your job.
I would have been great at that. I would have. Yeah. They're like, wow, that Tim guy's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's the problem. That's why I got sober. That's why I got sober, everybody. I had to leave some fun for everybody else. Yep. I was taking you know what? Actually, because there's, I certainly appear very Irish. I've got some lineage, with me being a ginger and my name being Timothy Patrick Riley. Though I have a question for you. This is what I wanted to ask you in the truck, but I stopped myself. When you meet people who are not born in Ireland, you know where I'm going with this?
No.
And they say, I'm Irish. I've got a lot of Irish in me. Mm-hmm. Does a part of you internally say, shut the fuck up? Because I feel like that's what I would do. That's like here in the States, people would be like, I've got some Cherokee Indian in me. I've got some Native American in me. It's like,
but
no,
they don't say,
Sarah.
say, when it comes to Irish, they don't say some. They say, I'm Irish.
Yes.
With the thickest American accent. And then you dive deep and they're like, yeah, my great grandfather was from Galway or something, you know?
Right.
So no, look, it doesn't annoy me. I don't know. People don't really say that to me, but it does. It is a cliche. And yes, a lot of Irish people hate that. They fucking hate it.
You're not fucking Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't, yeah. But like, then again, we also claim how great it is that so many Irish people went to America and like did so well. So like,
interesting.
you know, it's
So nothing makes you guys happy.
yeah, exactly. That is the lesson to learn from this. We're like, Irish people fucking built New York, they built Boston.
Yeah.
But then if someone's like, my dad is Irish, we're like, shut the fuck up.
No, they're not. Yeah.
So yeah, nothing makes us happy. Exactly.
The Coach 'em Up podcast has partnered with Aleco. Let's go. Not only is Aleco found in 85% of Power 5 schools, but they also offer at-home solutions from racks, flooring, rigs, barbells, bumper plates, your favorite accessories like straps and weightlifting belts, you name it, Aleco's got you covered. Go to aleco.com/coachemup and get access to the same equipment that they're using in the best facilities with the best athletes on the planet. This episode is brought to you by friend of the show, David Gray of David Gray Rehab, creator of the absolute game-changing foot, ankle, and Achilles program. To date, it's helped over 8,000 people, including Zach and myself, get back to running, jumping, and playing pain-free. This program isn't just for athletes, it's also been used by coaches and physios in the NFL, NBA, and Premier League, as well as every other major sport. And if that wasn't impressive enough, you can get the full program 15% off lifetime access when you click the link in the show notes and use code TIM at checkout. Now, back to the show. When you're over here, what are the most common Americanisms where people are like, because obviously you have the accent. Mm-hmm. We were talking about this, about how you almost mumbling, wanting to avoid the conversation. Mm-hmm. Is it just relentless?
It's just, are you Irish? Or you're Irish?
You're Irish,
yeah.
huh?
I love
Hi,
it.
boy.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Yeah. So now I can't even order a coffee properly. I'm like, cortado, please. And they're like, you're Irish? So yeah, I mumble way more over here.
I'm Irish.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
yeah. Well, my mother's Irish. Yeah. Sure she is.
So I'm trying to speak clear. I'm trying to be like, I don't know. I don't know why I do that.
You should lean into it.
I
should play it up.
Exactly. I should. Even in the gym earlier, like I was saying to you, I get a little bit like, I don't know, uncomfortable or something with the Americanness of everyone.
Yeah.
You know, and they're all being super nice.
Right.
But everyone's just like big energy and
Is that the thing that stands out to you the most?
Probably, yeah.
Just sort of like the
bravado of it all. Yeah.
Well, I think being here in Austin's partly to blame as well. You've been other places as well. Mm-hmm. Is that a consistent theme you feel like?
I think it's more like, no, I just notice it in, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But
like,
you do notice.
In Ireland, like even if there was a big shot there and they were carrying on, you know, just like that, someone would be like, hey, shut the fuck up or something, you know, sit down, like, you know.
I actually rather enjoy, I think that's great.
Yeah.
You know, people.
In a fun way, you know.
Yeah. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting because then I think of someone like a Conor McGregor who's just a caricature of himself, you know, and how over the top he, you know.
Yeah. But like if you went to Dublin where Conor McGregor is from, he's a different person now.
Yes,
he's very different now. But if you watch him...
Did you see the picture?
What picture?
Oh, you don't know about this?
Oh yeah, I did see the picture. Yeah.
I mean, I actually couldn't bring myself to view it but I heard allegedly.
Yeah.
He had...
Did you really not view it?
No.
Yeah.
You did.
I saw it, yeah.
We'll leave it at that. You know, you guys can Google Conor McGregor lifting weights. And scroll down a little bit and add DM next to that. And you know, just make sure no one under the age of 18 is around you.
But like, yeah, if him 10 years ago when he was very serious about his sport and all that, very intelligent, articulate, still someone that a lot of people didn't like and still doing some questionable things with his life. But
sure.
But all the bravado, if you went to that area of Dublin like all of his friends would have been carrying on the same way, you know, like super quick, witty one-liners. So yes, he was kind of beating his chest and stuff like that, but also he would have been doing that in school and someone would have been like, hey, shut the fuck up, and like, you know, tear him down just the way he was tearing other people down.
Got it.
So there's a lot of that kind of banter going on.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, for today's podcast, I put up a question box, and man, we've got like 5 pages worth of questions.
I was going to say 5 questions.
No, yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
And 2 people submitted. Yeah, we would have pivoted on the Q&A. But I'm excited because the last time you were here, we had some specific topics, and that's always awesome. But I think it's always fun to, because usually Zach and I will do Q&As together.
Yeah.
But you're in a different space, and so it's going to be refreshing to have a Q&A. But we also think very similarly, so I'm interested to see how the Q&A goes.
Let's do it.
Let me pull this up. Oh, no. I just accidentally deleted the video of you getting out of that Mazda. Okay, here we go. So, this is a very specific question.
I'm afraid of Q&As. I don't know what's going to come.
Jake Connery, 42, would like to know, how does David go about treating a chronic injury like osteitis pubis?
Osteitis pubis.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said it wrong.
The answer for all of this is going to be the same, right? For like, regardless of if he said some kind of knee pain or whatever issue, is you assess it. You look at what the person is doing movement-wise, load-wise, lifestyle-wise, what their thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are about the issue itself, because obviously that's so important. And then you look for big elephants in the room to begin with. I think that we take an Occam's razor approach in our business. So with our coaches and our physios, I always speak about Occam's razor and Occam's. Do you know what Occam's razor is?
Yeah, the simplest answer is usually the best.
Simplest answer is usually the best. Doesn't mean it's always the best, but at least I always tell people you should start there. Start there, and then we can go from there. So we take an Occam's razor approach. So if someone has whatever chronic issue, we're looking at where their cup is the most empty. So are you training like an idiot, like training so much? Are you really inconsistent with your loading? Are you not sleeping right? Are you just have glaring like weakness in certain areas? And to be honest, oftentimes it's like a mix of a few different factors. So osteitis pubis can be incredibly...
What is that? Because I'm understanding pubis. I'm like, okay, it must be an
so they actually don't
site.
call it osteitis pubis, I don't think, anymore. It's not really the technical term for it anymore, but basically pubic bone.
Yeah.
So there's pain there, and often it comes along with groin issues. Basically, the front of your pelvis around your pubic bone, and often spreads into like your groin and stuff like that. Gets incredibly sensitive and sore.
That must be horrible to deal with, because
it's really not nice.
You know, like even like with something like they say you've got a shoulder tendinopathy or a patellar tendinopathy, you know, something similar, but just in a location that's just more accessible, because it's like, what the fuck do you... And
your body is incredibly sensitive about that area as well. So it's very protective of that area.
So you lock up.
Yeah. And like every footstep is potentially sore. As you start to get into bigger movements like running and sprinting, a big switch of your hips.
Oh.
Like a big hip flexion on one side, extension on the other. Think about how much that's pulling on that area. So one of the classic kind of ways to treat it would have been a lot of groin work, a lot of groin squeezes, and tons of ab work, because it can kind of spill over into the abdominals as well, the lower abs. So I actually think that's usually overdone. People do.
You do?
They do too much ab work and groin work, and oftentimes, for example, that guy that I was talking about, Gaelic football. No, the Gaelic football guy. that we had 2 weeks to basically get him ready for the All-Ireland final. So we did some testing with Vald, or we have the fourth.
Shout out
frame.
Vald.
Shout out to
Coach
Vald,
him up.
yeah.
Coach him up podcast is also
Exactly.
powered by Vald.
So this was interesting because we did some testing with, so he had some symptoms of osteitis pubis and athletic groin, and we did some testing with the force frame that they have, where you can check adduction and abduction strength, and he was super duper weak in abduction. So his lateral hip muscles were like way weak. Like he's an elite Gaelic footballer,
right?
And like way weaker than they should be. And his adductors, yeah, and his adductors.
I would have assumed.
Yeah, but he had been doing so much grind work that he was like good, but not like in terms of strength wise, he was good there, but
function
just wasn't getting better. So we did a lot of lateral hip work instead. And would I have seen that if I didn't have that testing available to me? I don't know, but I'd like to think I would have.
Sure.
But if the key point is I would have asked him, what have you been doing for the last 12 months? And you're not improving. So now it's like, now is our chance to obviously try something a little bit different.
Yes.
So yeah, usually a mix of like, we do a mix of breath work. We make sure the hips are moving really, really well. We make sure the rib cage is nice and mobile. And then we build your strength up where you're lacking it. And then it's all about load management from there. Look, these people are struggling often with change of direction, sprinting, deceleration, and often in sports where there's a lot of twisting involved. So what they do is loads of Copenhagen planks, loads of core work, and then they skip the end stage rehab part, which is like, okay, let's slowly start to teach you how to do these movements again. And they just dive back into sport again. And like any issue, that's a disaster. So with these people, you need tons and tons of pitch work as well, slowly nudging them forward all of the time.
So continuing this question, I've noticed in following your Instagram closely how much you've highlighted in recent memory that piece, and getting people out on the track, getting them cutting, getting them moving, and particularly like, you know, the lower body progression I see from you often is more like a more static plyo, and then a plyo where there's a bit of a change of direction element, and then you've got them on the pitch or the court as it were, and adding some more velocity eventually to the place. And I've seen a couple of videos too, or like the affected side, particularly with the ACL stuff, how large the discrepancy is when they go to cut or, you know, get in and out of a cut, and the strategy that they use, even though from a weight room perspective, there's virtually you can't tell a difference per se. Yeah. But then you get them into a more dynamic setting and it's clear and obvious.
Yeah. So you should be working on that coordinative aspect, I would say, very early, even before you're at late stage rehab, wherever you can keep the idea. Like Jonas Dodu who's a sprint coach in the UK, he breaks down sprinting into switching, projection and reactivity. So those are the three key components, which is actually very, very helpful for people who aren't necessarily sprint coaches or are sprint coaches. So can you switch your hips? Can you project, push forward, basically push your center of mass forward? And then are you reactive when you hit the floor? So some people can project a lot, but they're very slow when they do it. Some people have a very small switch of their hips. Some people, whatever, right? So there's all these different variations. So someone like him would take someone and try and have components of each of those things in the training process all the way through.
Yeah.
So we try and do something similar.
Even if it's regressed, it's not sprinting.
Exactly. But we're always getting you switching your hips.
That's happening.
Yeah. When do you switch your hips in the gym? If you're doing a squat, you're doing a reverse lunge, even, like, you might say that's a switching exercise, but like, is it? Like one leg is going behind, but then it's coming back to beside the other leg, for example. So like, you
actually getting reciprocation.
Exactly. Switching your hips. Very simple. So like, of course you're gonna struggle when you get back onto the pitch if you've just spent 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months not doing any of this stuff.
Right.
So,
but I've been single leg squatting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And look, you have to single leg, like, you have to get really strong. But like, ultimately the biggest part of your rehab the one that's fucked up the most and the biggest part is going to be your end stage. And that's where you should spend probably the most amount of time, not the least amount of time, is retraining people in the movements they need to be able to do.
Yeah. This is from Gustavo_Moreira. I hope I didn't butcher that.
Very exotic name.
It's Gustavo is like that name fucks, dude. All right. What? And this, by the way, wonderful question. What are the ground foundations to be a good professional, short term and long term? Big question.
Ground foundations. What does that mean?
I would assume. I'm gonna put my spin on your question. What are the principles required to be a good professional, short term and long term? I would imagine they're the same. But
so this is something I've been thinking about coming away from Oklahoma. Something that I learned from the staff, or I've known from a long time, but it was nice for me to validate it a little bit more from seeing those people. You actually have to be good at everything. You can't not be. To be a good professional, I'm going to say this. I'm going to put it this way: to be a great professional, because who wants to be good?
Yeah,
like good is you want to be better than good, and I think to be better than good, you need to be really good at a lot of things. So if you take, for example, those guys, and I'm aware not everyone wants to work in the NBA or will work in the NBA or whatever, but if you take some of those guys who are working in the pinnacle of professional sport, they have to be amazing communicators.
Yeah,
right. They have to be very good, if you're talking about on the rehab side or the physio side, they have to be very good at diagnosing issues. Even if it's not perfect, but they have to be able to rule certain things out very quickly. They have to be good programmers. They have to be good at coaching drills. They have to be good at selecting exercises. They have to be good at like just time management and like logistics. They have to be a good person. Actually, because like we talk about it in the industry like as if I came away from that workshop knowing that actually great people do get to the top. And we often talk about like, there's one guy who's a dickhead and he seems to be doing why do athletes work with him and not me? But like he's actually the outlier.
Yes.
Most people that get to the top are fucking great people.
Yeah.
Because athletes and their colleagues will not work with them unless they are. It's not that you have to be like, you can get to the top being a dickhead, but for the most part, they're not dickheads. So I'm going to say, I think people let themselves off the hook way too much in our industry, and they just want to be like, oh, how do I be good? Like, give me 2 or 3 things. Yeah. And like, I wouldn't hire you if you were good at 2 or 3 things. You need to be empathetic. You need to be a good communicator. You need to have a bit of authority and a bit of charisma about you. You need to, I don't know, why have you, Tim, been able to make such huge progress in the last couple of years? You can't put your finger on one thing. It's not a marketing strategy. It's not a one personality trait. It's because you're really fucking good at your job and you have a lot of depth to your personality as well, where people want to be around you. They want to see what you're doing. They want to be part of what you're doing because there's depth to you. It's not just being good at like being a good communicator and good at coaching drills. Yeah. So,
well, I appreciate that.
That's my answer.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I with your sentiment, I also agree. I think, my personal experience, I've shared this before, like good things didn't start happening for me professionally in a big way until I'd put in the requisite time, effort, and energy to be able to show up as the kind of person I want to. Not perfectly or all the time, but most of the fucking time. And that took a lot of work for me.
When Mimi, one of our physios, was working with us for probably 6 months at the time, I wrote down a list for her of like all of the things I just mentioned, which is like communication, different aspects of rehab, and I made her grade herself out of 5 in every single one of them. And you can't use 3. Everyone wants to put down 3, which is like, I'm kind of good. So you're either a 2 or a 4. So I love that. Yeah, so there's
I'm pretty well-rounded, pretty neutral.
No 3s. So yeah, I made her grade herself in all of those things. And then we saw where the gaps were. and we brought them up. So yeah, I think you should aim to be 4s or 5s at everything if you want to be great in the industry.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Oh, I like this question a lot. So Tom Hutchinson, PT, wants to know, what's one thing you don't see PTs and coaches doing with clients that they should or could be doing more of?
One, I have two things. One on the technical side. I don't think people understand, again, going back to OKC, this is something that we spent a lot of time talking about over the 2 days, was movement accuracy. I don't think people understand it. I think that we sometimes talk about like, oh, there's no such thing as perfect movement, which of course there isn't. There's lots of ways to get the job done. But if you're working with a client and you ask them to, you've decided to do like, okay, a hip hinge is going to be important movement for us because I want to train your glutes in this way and blah, 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 blah. Then you should be able to fucking coach a hip hinge, and don't be happy if a client doesn't do a good job with it.
Right.
So I think we're nudging more towards just write the exercises down on a piece of paper or tell the client what to do, and like it's fine no matter what they do.
Is this sort of maybe a bit of leakiness of movement optimism?
Yes, I would say so. And I'm a huge fan of movement optimism.
Me too.
But movement optimism, I don't want to say it's been interpreted wrong, but I don't know if it's to do with this, but movement optimism to me should mean that there's no wrong way to move.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you're trying to get a specific outcome,
exactly,
there is
if I want you to bend your knee, then fucking bend your knee, you know? It's not that not bending your knee is wrong, or it's not that flexing your spine when you do a deadlift is wrong.
Right.
That the movement optimism tells me, and I would agree with it, and I think it's incredibly important message that if you flex your spine doesn't mean your spine's going to explode.
Yes.
It's not a bad movement. But also, I as the coach need to be able to be aware of when I don't want someone to flex their spine. And the message is important, not because if you flex your spine, you're going to get injured, but because not flexing your spine means we can train your hip more in a certain way.
Yep.
So I think we need to be more clear with what the outcome we want from a certain drill is, and not be anal with the client. Obviously there's levels of good,
sure,
but being accurate. So a lot of the time people come to me and say, I've been doing calf raises for years and I'm not getting better, or I've been doing hinges and I'm not getting better,
or whatever my hamstring.
Yeah, whatever the thing is, and then I say, show me. And it's not whatever they say it is, you know?
Yeah. You're doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not what you think you're doing.
Exactly. Or you see in the Pilates world, or, like a side-lying leg lift, side-lying abduction. Like we have certain ways of coaching that, and they're trying to train their lateral hip, but all they're doing is crunching the side of their body.
Yeah.
So I say, of course it didn't work for you because you didn't train the thing that we wanted. So I think the question is, what are people not doing enough of? They're not appreciating the people who are spending more time on coaching stuff. They're often attaching a nocibic narrative to it, which goes against movement optimism. And then because of that, people are fighting against that, saying there's like, move however you want.
Right.
I think we should be able to still coach, but we have to appreciate what an accurate movement is.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then the second thing is people should be more comfortable calling their clients out a little bit, especially in rehab. We try to be like very lovey-dovey with people. That's very important. We need to be empathetic, but there's also time to be like, hey, you didn't do your fucking homework.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Or what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know? So
I've done that with you. I didn't do my...
Yes, exactly.
What'd you say? You said...
But I said, how's your shoulder? You said, it's getting better. I'm doing this, and this. I was like, we did a call 6 months ago. I told you to do this exercise.
He said, you didn't do it. I said, no.
No, you said, I did it for 2 days.
I did, yeah.
And it's a fucking tendinopathy.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that call was probably a year ago.
It was over a year.
Yeah. Imagine if you had a year of doing that exercise.
Sometimes, listen, man, I have a friend. He'll remain nameless, but he's dealing with some life stuff. He's making some bad decisions. And he goes, Tim, when am I going to start making better decisions? And I said, when the suffering of the way you're living your life becomes great enough that it becomes the only choice you have available. And unfortunately, that's the relationship I have with my shoulder. Yes, and many other injuries. Yes. Frankly, now I like to think I've gotten wiser, and I also had a toxic relationship with my shoulder because I've had 2 surgeries. It's always been an issue off and on, and I would hurt it, and it would just eventually get better. And so this was one of those times where I kind of told myself, I was like, it's gonna get fucking better eventually.
I don't blame you, by the way.
It didn't.
I don't blame you, because I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying it.
Yeah. Thank you. So the point is David's not just blowing smoke here. He will call you out. Also, before we move on from that, you talked about how important it is to actually accomplish what it is you've set out to do. And
that's a much better way of putting it than I just did. Thank you.
You're welcome. But that requires nuance and understanding and clear. You've landed on a clear outcome, and if you're clear on what the outcome needs to be, then the path to get there suddenly gets much more narrower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, coaches are deciding that something is important. They're putting in the time to think about. They're assessing someone. They're deciding, okay, this is important, an important training outcome. Then they're doing something that they think is going to achieve that training outcome, but they're not doing. It's not.
It's not,
because they're not getting it right. Just like squatting and turning the squat into a hinge, you're not going to train your quads.
Yep.
So they're not, and then they're deciding, actually, that didn't work for my client.
Yep. Squats don't work.
Yep,
I still have jumper's knee.
Exactly.
My knee, my quads aren't getting bigger and stronger. I only feel it in my low back and hips. It must be the squats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And then they
you
try
never
to say, okay,
folded your fucking knees. You did everything except bend your knees.
Yeah.
Yes, the bar moved. You got below parallel, but your knees didn't move.
Yeah. So exactly that. If you decide it's important, then don't tell me it didn't work if you did it in a way that it wouldn't work.
The Coach 'em Up podcast is now powered by Vald, the global leader in human measurement technologies. Whether you're working with elite athletes, gen pop, or return to play populations, Vald's tools are designed to give you objective, actionable data to help drive your decision making. From Nord boards, force decks, and smart speed timing gates, all which I use, Vald helps you measure what actually matters. Their technology is used and trusted by the NBA, NFL, EPL, and NCAA, as well as thousands of high-performance clinics and facilities around the world. If you're serious about performance, recovery, or precision coaching, Vald gives you the best tools to test, assess, and improve. Because remember, if you're not testing, you're just guessing. Follow the link below to learn more and request a demo. Zach, what's the best training app on the planet?
It has to be Train Heroic. Gone are the days of sending the old crusty PDF. Now we have a sleek new app.
It's easy to use. There's videos with descriptions. You get to track and log your weight, your reps. There's a community chat function. You can submit videos. You can get feedback.
How about the leaderboard, Tim?
I started using Train Heroic first as an athlete and someone who wanted to learn. Now I use it as a coach. Athletes and other coaches can go and be a part of my training community and get results.
Whether you're an athlete, coach, or just like to train, use the link in our description to find out how you can train on the best app in the world.
And join us on Train Heroic today. You've brought up the OKC trip a couple of times, and some of the themes that in these questions have been things that you discussed there. To the precise extent you're allowed, what was the how was your time spent there? What were you speaking on mostly, and what were you bringing to the organization philosophically?
So, I don't know if I brought anything, but
yeah, I mean, it sounds like that guy was pretty dialed.
Yeah, exactly.
You think after the couple of days of being here, like, yeah, we didn't really need to bring him.
Yeah,
maybe, we learned everything we needed to from all the programs. That's the problem when you do a program so good and it's so detailed and it gets such good results. That, you know what I mean? You phase yourself out, but evidently not.
I think. Look, there's so much detail we can go into with stuff. Like the programs are just showing movements, you know? Yeah. They're showing step by step, here's movements. And anyone will want to know why, like what's going on and so on. So basically we did a lower body masterclass, right? Which was...
God, I wish I could have gone to that.
Broken into... A couple of them didn't know who you were, by the way, which I was surprised with.
And I'm offended.
I was like, I'm going to my friend Tim's afterwards.
They're like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, they're too busy winning championships and not listening to another fucking 35-year-old guy's podcast.
I told him who you are. But isn't that I'm not saying that to put you down, by the way. I'm only joking. But you always think that, like, if I know someone, everyone knows someone.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that person.
Yeah, it happens with me. The same thing has happened with you in the past. I'm like, oh, you need to follow David. Like, David who?
You're just trying to get back on me now.
No, I'm not. The
same thing happened yesterday. They didn't know who the fuck you were.
You know what? It happened 5 times this morning. I said, my friend David's coming into town, and they said, who?
No,
and I said, I'm like, you're right. You probably don't know who he is. Yeah.
No, I said it. I said it so that they would know who you are going forward.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
So lower body masterclass, basically, which is like, we just went through the foot and ankle first and foremost.
Yeah.
In terms of the mechanics, so I have some slides in my presentation for them, which talks about the mechanics of pronation and supination. Yeah. What needs to happen? In terms of the joints, what do the joints and the bones need to do to be able to pronate your foot and supinate your foot? It's incredibly helpful because you just look at someone who's not pronating their foot or not supinating the foot, and then you can look at, here's what should happen, here's what's not happening.
Yep.
I then have a couple of slides that talk about why it might not be happening. So, like, let's say you want to increase ankle dorsiflexion. There's some key reasons why someone might not be increasing ankle dorsiflexion. One, for example, here's one. A lot of people do a knee to wall drill to try and improve their ankle dorsiflexion. But what do they do when they do a knee to wall drill? They put their hands on the wall, they hinge their torso forward.
Yeah.
And they start in a lot of dorsiflexion already, and they just drive their knee a little bit more forward every single time.
Yep.
And their heel is coming off the floor. So that's going to cause people can even try this if they want. They can stand up and bring their knee forward and back a couple of times. And you'll feel that if your toes are gripping and your center of mass starts very far forward, your foot will feel extremely stiff and rigid, and that's not going to work. So there's just things like that. So there's a foot and ankle masterclass in terms of the mechanics and the tensegrity. And then there's also, we went into like tendon loading. So Achilles tendon loading, which obviously will be important for them to appreciate and understand. And we had some, not me telling them what to do, obviously, because they know their schedule and their players and all of that stuff really well. But we spoke about, I think what we kind of landed on, especially for the Achilles, and Andrew spoke about this as well, is that isometrics aren't good enough for the Achilles. I'm talking about like pathology, Achilles with pathology or painful Achilles. And he's spoken to some tendon researchers recently, and it seems like the whole world went towards isometrics for everything, for tendons.
Yep.
And now it seems like people are pulling back and thinking that actually, and this is, I'm very strong on this view, and I probably spoke about it a bit on our last podcast that we did, where you probably aren't going to be able to get enough strain on the Achilles if you're just holding isometrics. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of like super maximal eccentrics for the Achilles. Because how many athletes, especially basketballers, maybe footballers, but how many athletes are going to be able to put enough weight on their back and stand on a single leg calf raise and hold it there for 45 seconds and have that be enough weight that gets them to like complete failure almost.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And you can do that for the patellar tendon because you can sit on a leg extension.
Yeah.
Or you can hold like an isometric lunge until literally your leg gives out.
Yep.
But how many, I've never brought myself to that level of failure in a calf raise isometric. And I don't know any athlete that has done. There's always way more juice to squeeze. So I think that's where your heavy eccentrics come into play.
There's also something about, and you've talked about this a lot too, sorry to jump in, but you just got my wheels turning here. How much stronger the Achilles is in the end range relative to the way other tendons operate in the body.
Yeah.
It's it exponentiates.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of active insufficiency in the higher inner ranges in the, and then
and if you're doing that long duration ISO like you're talking about, the way it's mid-range. It's mid-range.
Yeah, so you're not going to get enough strain to cause adaptation. So I think that they had kind of landed on that, And I was very adamant about that with them. Not that I'm right, but I'm like, this is how we do things.
Right.
That's all I'm sharing. I'm sharing my perspectives. I'm not saying you guys should definitely do this. I'm saying here's what I
do.
Yeah. So I'm very strong on that you should be going for your heavy eccentrics. You can't do them all the time because they might make you sore, but and fatigued. But if you're looking for one, strength gains, and two, adaptations, I think that most people think that they're getting tendon stiffness changes and muscular strength with their isometrics, and I think that all they're actually getting is an analgesic effect where it just makes them feel a bit better.
Yep.
And that's why I think the patellar tendon is so much easier to rehab.
It's so much easier
because you can just
in my personal experience.
Yeah.
With my own body.
And your clients.
Yes.
It's way easier. It's way easier. For the most part, it's way easier. And it's just so much easier to fatigue your quad.
Yeah,
like you can just do it in a million ways.
Yeah.
And
do a wall sit. Single leg wall sit long enough with your foot close enough to the wall.
Yep.
See ya.
So we did that with Owen, right? When I was there last time. And like he couldn't hold that. We did 45 seconds and he had to like fall out of the position. When do you ever see that happen with a single leg calf raise ISO? Never, ever. So it has to be an eccentric, I think.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be an eccentric. You can do heavy calf raises, but an eccentric is a foolproof way of getting it to happen.
And the way because I've taken this from you too, where particularly in a rehab, and you could argue even in the performance setting, but the way you do calf raises often is actually you'll just do the bottom half of that movement and really load it up.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the place to be. You can separate it out if you want to do heavy. If you want to do the top range and you think they're weak in the top range, we actually do that on a separate day. So we go heavy in the stretch position. You don't necessarily have to go deep in the stretch for everyone.
I've done that too. You posted about this the other day where I was like, oh, I need to go as deep as possible. I have to get the biggest stretch possible because more is better. And I was just pissing off my Achilles.
Exactly. So more stretch is better for strength gains and potentially for tendon health, unless more stretch pisses off your Achilles.
In that case, don't do that.
So with and I've probably not been clear enough with this if I've spoken on podcasts, because I'm just like kind of saying, go into more stretch.
Yeah.
But with our clients, I'm like, let's start with a little bit of stretch and make sure you can tolerate it, and we'll nudge you closer. Because you can piss off the bursa, you can piss off, especially with insertional Achilles, like definitely avoid the stretch. But
which is what I had.
Yeah, you can just piss off certain things. So be slow with moving into the stretch. Does that answer your question with OKC? So yeah, it was just that, and then we talked about knee stuff, mechanics of the knee, mechanics of the hip, looking at the main movements that I use. We went into some breathing work, which I think is unbelievably important. And what they're looking for, especially with the foot and ankle stuff, is ways to keep training the foot and ankle, because obviously they're going to pick up ankle sprains and all this stuff. With lots of ways to train the foot and ankle and keep it really strong without making players sore because they're playing so many games. Yeah. And I'm good at that because I showed you some movements today where your foot was like a 1RM foot exercise. Check out David's vlog. If you'd like to see. Hopefully I have a video of it. Yeah. So like, I'm good at that. We can get really good training, stimulus, but you're not going to be sore after. Right.
Because it was dynamic in the sense that I was moving, but it was more isometric in terms of the stimulus. Yeah. So but I was also hitting things that I'm otherwise not going to be able to. Yeah.
So that was it.
All right. I have a follow-up. I have a personal question, but I'm gonna get back to everyone else's first. Now I'm gonna butcher the shit out of this. My boy S-Man.
No, I need to hear. All
right, here we go. Segur.Lenad. I bet I nailed it. DM me and why don't you send me a voice note and tell me what your real name is? I apologize now. I'm assuming this is his son as his profile. You have a beautiful family. Hip impingement fixes. This
Hip
is so
impingement
broad.
Fixes. Okay,
Yes.
so another thing we spoke about a little bit with OKC is hip impingements. And first things first, stop trying to get more range of motion. Stop trying to
But David, if I just cram my knee
oh
higher,
fuck me. So so like this is the thing.
or just jam it.
Yeah. This
Just like my ankle when I do my dorsiflexion.
people who have tight hips really want their hips to be not as tight.
Yeah.
So
I just got tight hips.
Yeah.
By the way, that is the word when I have an athlete comes to me, he's like, I just got tight hips. I go, fuck. Here we fucking go.
Yeah, but that's every athlete.
It's so ingrained, and some coach told them when they were 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys got tight hips, and he's like, I got tight hips. My hips are tight. Everything's tight. I got tight hips, and I got to rewire a whole life of trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this has gotten much more prevalent recently with the rise of FRC in the industry. And I don't want to shit on FRC. Some of the principles are really good. There's lots of good stuff there. It seems like the creators and the coaches there are incredibly smart.
Yep.
But FRC, I would say, is, and not just FRC, just end range strengthening ideas where you're like pulling yourself into end range and holding there and trying to like drive and get another millimeter range of motion or another degree range of motion for someone with tight hips like that, like a hip impingement, is usually fucking disaster.
Yeah.
And what do? They know they have tight hips, so they look for more mobility exercises, and it makes them feel terrible. And they what happens is their hips get tighter and more painful, and actually the surgeon then blames the hip impingement and all of this stuff, and they say, okay, we need to go in there and clean things out. But actually they have more range of motion available to them, or they would do, if they just relaxed and stopped. Just like any part of your body, if you just keep jamming into pain all the time, you're actually going to have more pain and less range of motion.
Right.
So first things first, don't do anything with your hip impingement. Stop looking for new stuff until you spend 2 weeks not driving into end range, and then we can talk. And that's unbelievably successful for so many people, is to stop trying to get more range of motion. And I would say the biggest thing is learn to smooth out range of motion that you have access to. If you can do that and train within the range that you have access to, over time, your range of motion will very likely increase in a pain-free manner. The one small tidbit is we do a lot of like the kickstand hinges type of work, where we really teach people to open up the posterior capsule and the back of the hip to help people. And we just did that with you today, where you feel like a massive, massive glute stretch, and it's very deep, and it's very different to a stretch that you would have felt in maybe any other exercise ever. So we do a lot of that work so that we learn to open up the back of your hip to help you access more hip flexion, rather than trying to like pull your knee up like you're saying in a shortened way. So that would be the overall strategy of stop jamming your hip is the most important thing. And then a little tactic is change your focus from pulling your knee up to getting your pelvis to roll forward in a better way in an exercise like a hinge.
Ben Bruno Training would like to know, what are your thoughts on Achilles shredders 2.0s, aka calf raises?
Did you just make this question up?
I didn't. This is Ben Bruno. So I have some context here. Shout out Ben, friend of the show. One of these days we're going to be able to get Ben actually here in Austin on the show.
I love Ben. I'm so happy.
Ben's the man.
Yeah.
A quick story about Ben. He and I connected over Instagram. I asked him to come on the show like I do. I just slide in people's DMs. And, guys clearly doing well. He's very busy. He said, absolutely, here's my number. Call me. I called him. We were on the phone for almost an hour. Just salt of the earth. Good human being. And we've been in communication since. And since then, one of his athletes he's trained, Jason Tatum, his Achilles tendon tore, very unfortunately.
No, it wasn't Jason Tatum.
Not Jason.
Tyrese Halliburton.
No. Tatum tore his too.
Yes.
Wait.
That was, but the more recent one.
That was Tyrese was his guy.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, you're right. Tyrese.
Yeah. That's what the storm.
I'm getting my superstars mixed up.
Achilles
and there were a lot of Achilles this year. But anyway, there was all this content floating around on the reason why this is happening to these NBA players is because their strength staff is making them do calf raises. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why these Achilles tears are occurring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there was more. Some people say calf raises. Some people said deadlifts with your heels on the floor.
Yep.
Some people said whatever. So
yep.
like, do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went off on that as well. I was like, fuck, like I cannot stand when people use an injury from someone to promote their own product.
100%.
It's not that you shouldn't talk about how your product could help with Achilles injuries.
Yep.
Because I do that.
Yep.
But it's taking a very specific case that you know absolutely nothing about,
yep.
and saying, I could have prevented that injury.
What an absurd, arrogant thing to do.
So, yeah. So those people and those systems, they understand one thing. And it's very important for everyone to understand for business. They do understand one thing. And that is they're not using advertising showing that they're better, even though you think they are. They're not trying to tell people that they're better, even though that's part of their advertising. What they're actually doing is they're trying to differentiate themselves by telling people, I'm different.
Yeah.
So different, I heard a phrase recently, different is better than better. So if you, all you want to be is different. Because some people, they'll listen to someone saying, don't do calf raises, you're going to hurt your Achilles. Some people will say, you're a fucking idiot. But some people will be like, that's different. I haven't heard that. And different is believable for certain people. So of all the multifactorial reasons why someone could hurt their Achilles, picking the one exercise, there's no exercise that's going to save something, but like the one exercise that you're probably thinking, fuck, like, you know, I wish I did, maybe potentially, like, I wish my calves were a bit stronger. I guarantee you every athlete I've ever met that's had an Achilles rupture has always said to me, and whether they're right or not, different story, has always said to me, I wish I did a bit more calf work beforehand, every time. So all these people do is pick something to be different about, and that's their marketing strategy.
Yeah.
So great marketing strategy, but terrible way to help people.
Horrible. Your wife, Kira J. Kent, would like to know, how many times has he turned his jocks inside out by now? Oh, I love it. I had to ask.
That is just because I said to her this morning, what do they call it in America where you go and get your laundry done? And she was like, I think they say laundromat. So then she was like, do you have clean jocks? I was like, no.
It's okay. I know of a laundromat close by. We'll stop there immediately.
Do you use the word jocks?
No, we don't.
Okay.
It's just underwear.
Your underwear.
Underwear. Yeah.
Okay. There's a new one for you.
Athlete.x. Shout out Cody. I called him Corey last time on the show and he corrected me, which I appreciate.
Shout out Cody.
Hell of a sprint coach.
Yeah, I think I've used a couple of his YouTube videos, sent them to clients for like dribbles or something like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He was the coach I hired to coach me when I began my sprint journey.
Nice.
And he's just one of the good guys.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to know, David, why does my Achilles hurt during passive plantar flexion?
Oh, that's interesting because so does mine.
Really?
Yes. When I if I go down on the floor and I sit, I had this exact conversation in OKC again, right? Just because I was showing them a couple of what we call like soft mobility exercises. Soft mobility is like pelvic tilts, very gentle movements to get the bones moving, which is like the opposite of end range strengthening. It's like, can you move your joint with the least amount of muscular tension in these couple of movements? So I was showing them we do like rock backs where we're on our knees and we sit back on our butt back on our heels and stuff like that. And you can go with your toes tucked under, so you're more dorsiflex and you get a stretch to your toes, so you're in more toe extension. Or you can point your toes, so that as you sit back, you're in more plantar flexion. And on my right side, where I had an Achilles tear, not a full rupture, it feels disgusting, and it's in passive plantar flexion. But not at the top of a calf raise in active plantar flexion. So Cody, I don't know the answer, and I had this conversation with the guys, and it just feels to me like it gets very bunched up, and it doesn't like that bunching feeling. But I don't have a scientific answer or a proper reasoning behind why that would be the case. So I wonder if potentially do you have some pathology in that Achilles as well? Not to nocebo you or anything like that, sure. But I'm sure he knows if he does or he doesn't. And if it's the case, I don't have the fix for it, but I would just say avoid doing it. Like, avoid pushing into it, because that's what I've done, and when I'm not doing it, it feels fine. So I don't know.
Train Right Performance would like to know.
I know a lot of these people. Those guys are in Australia. They're good, yeah. Rugby, yeah.
Shout out Train Right. Have you ever had the itch to work in pro sport?
So I did actually work with a local professional football soccer team in Waterford. I wasn't amazing at the job, to be honest, but it was my first kind of real exposure to working with lots of athletes. So I'm sure I would do a much better job now, but I didn't do a great job then. But it was really good learning curve for me, and I wasn't ready for the job, but I knew a guy, and he was like, you would do well here and you learn a lot. So I did it. I really enjoyed it. Like, I was out on the soccer pitch every day.
That's awesome.
With 1 o'clock every single, or 10 a.m. every single day for 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever, into the gym afterwards. It was brilliant. It was really good. But I think now at this stage, I don't know. Again, going back to the OKC stuff, just because it's on the top of my mind, like, it's a tough job. When I see what the physios have to travel a lot, it's your life. It's your life. It's. I have a lot of respect for what they're doing, and it's not easy. And there's pressure. You have to answer to people, you know. So I think I kind of get my fix, my pro sport fix. So today, for example, I went for a walk in Austin, and then I had 3 clients to check in with. One is Drew Sample, who plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. I've been working with him for a year ago in his off season for probably 3 months with his Achilles, and now this year for the last 3 months or so, they're coming back into season now. So I did a 10-minute call with him. He's in the pool in Cincinnati Bengals, like, and I'm just on WhatsApp call or whatever, FaceTime with him, and like he's just in the pool.
He's in the facility,
and he's like saying hello telling me to say hello to the strength coaches and stuff. So he's one, and then I had a professional rugby player and a professional basketballer. So 3 like 10 or 15-minute calls. So like I kind of get my fix there. You know, and I love that. I love working with athletes. I love talking with athletes. And then I get to watch them on TV.
Listen, I am not ashamed to say this. That is one of my favorite reasons, working with pros and high-level athletes, and even the collegiate football players I work with. Because you get to, like, there's this gratification of being able to watch them go out and do something great, or even just be on the field. Mm-hmm. It's like, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. You know the meme of Leonardo DiCaprio sitting, pointing at the TV? Yeah, that's me. I'm like, Kira, that's whoever, you know? Look. Yeah. So how good is that, though? Yeah. It's so good to just watch them.
Yeah.
And like, you're so invested then.
Yes.
You know?
And, you know, you and I are similar in the fact where it's like, I get to know these people. It's not fun for me if you know, I want to get to know you. It's in my nature. I mean, fuck, I have a podcast. The whole thing is about getting to know other coaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when you get to know someone and you understand what's important to them and how much things matter, and then you get to sort of be a part of the process with them, and then they go out and they get to do the thing and they make a big play, or they, you know,
it's awesome. It's awesome.
It is.
The guy I was talking about with the athletic grind, the Irish Gaelic footballer, where we had a couple of weeks to get him ready for the final. So when the final was on, and like, I'm a humongous Gaelic football fan. Like I wanted to be him playing in that game, right?
Nice.
So but when the game was on, I was teaching a workshop in London at the time. So I'm teaching in front of 40 coaches and physios, and like I'm getting texts from my dad. So he wasn't starting the game, right?
Yeah.
But I knew he was going to come on because he hadn't played in 6 weeks or whatever. So I knew he was going to come on, and my dad and my brother were texting me. I was like checking my phone, and so he had a groin problem, but he also had a shoulder problem that he needs a surgery for, but he just was like, fuck it, I'm playing. Yeah. I'll get the surgery. And so, and the other team knew he had it dislocated in one of the previous games. So it turns out he came onto the field with both shoulders strapped up, so they wouldn't know.
Go after the one. They had he didn't know which one to attack.
So I got the text. Like I'm teaching. I got the text from dad. Like, such and such just came on, and then my brother texts, they're after rocking him with a fucking shoulder. But he's okay. He's still going. So I'm just buzzing with that. You know.
Yes.
So I think that's the next. I don't know. A few years ago, one of the players that I worked with, again, Gaelic footballer, I was at the game. So I was doing Zoom sessions with him the day before and the morning of the All-Ireland final. God! To help his ankle. And I've been working with him for 3 months on 6 months on a huge ankle surgery that he had.
Yeah.
And a problem that wasn't getting better. And I worked with him and he was struggling. Very few people knew like how hard he found that time.
Yep.
Me and Kira were at the final. My brother was there, and he came on and scored the winning goal in the All-Ireland final.
You fucking cry.
I'm getting emotional thinking about it now, and it was like it was like
incredible.
And in Croke Park in Ireland, 83,000 people there. I'm getting tingles thinking about it now, and he scored that goal. I was like, fuck. And no, I never posted about I never posted that day like that I was working with him that morning or any of that. Nothing. I didn't. I'd posted like previous that when he was in the gym with me, but like none of that. I just didn't need to. I didn't feel the need to, like, as if I was going to take some credit or anything like that.
Right.
But I didn't need to. I was like, that was fucking amazing. Like,
God, that's awesome.
So that type of stuff, you feel that.
I have.
Yeah.
It's indescribable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only thing comparable is like, and like my daughter, I coach all her little league teams. She won. She scored this like winning point, in like a closely contested match.
I saw the video.
Oh my fucking! And like I've got to keep it contained because I'm the coach.
You're the coach.
And they are 8 years old. You know what I mean? 7 at the time. So I can't be like, let's fucking go. I gotta. But trust me when I say like that. There's that, and then right under that, it's yeah.
Imagine how parents of these athletes feel
at
the game.
All the time, effort, and energy.
Oh my God.
And you know how hard your child's working. It's your child.
Yeah.
I mean,
imagine being the parent of a UFC fighter.
Fuck.
Where you're like, I don't know if they're going to fucking get killed.
Yeah.
Win the fight. That must be
intense.
Oh my
God. David, we have 60 seconds.
Yep.
Okay. I have 2 questions. They're going to rapid fire. Okay. Athletic Doc, friend of the show. He needs your top favorite 5 books. Just the first 5 that come to your mind.
I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
Solid.
Yeah.
I'm coming out strong.
Massive Harry Potter fan.
I knew I liked you.
So I would say Harry Potter. I just read recently The Pilgrim. Have you read that?
No.
Oh, fuck. It's a fiction book about like a guy who is, I don't want to give it away or anything, but a guy who is, if you like, I had to start reading more fiction because I was like getting sick of reading S&C and physio type stuff. So it's about a guy who like, he came up with some, it doesn't matter. Just read it. It's a kind of a crimey kind of, it's unbelievable. So that's another one. I love Andre Agassi, the tennis player. His autobiography is unbelievable. It's called Open.
He and I have some overlap.
He speaks about any trainer should read that book because he hated tennis. The first chapter, the first like paragraph of the first chapter starts with like he wakes up. Who am I? I don't know, my back is killing me. Oh, I just remembered I'm playing the US Open final today. I fucking hate tennis. And he's trying to get in the shower. He can't get out of bed. And his like Steffi Graf is his wife. She's coming up like wheeling him into the shower to get ready for the game. It is. And he has this trainer called Gil, who's like clearly, he's like, Gil gives me his potion. Like Gil is giving him all kinds of weird shit to get him ready for games and training him and stuff.
Gil's giving him a shot of vodka and some fucking Adderall. Get your ass out there.
So those three, I'll just leave it at those three. There
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Athletic Doc, you got 3. All right. So one more. This is from Brady _ I wish we had more time because I could do this for 3 hours. But Brady _ Deaton. What education have you done, or who has influenced you the most?
Who has influenced me the most? What courses? I really like Gary Ward.
Yeah.
He has a business or a company called Anatomy in Motion, an educational company, and I think that's really good. I struggle these days with talking about courses, not because I don't want to give credit to people. I do, and I have like one of the first slides in my workshop is like my list of 30 influences. You're on it now, by the way.
Hey, I made it on the list.
You did. But it's because I've had people message me after doing certain courses and they're like, oh, I just learned all the stuff that you learned from this person and here's how I'm using it. I'm like, that's not how I'm fucking using it, you know? You know? So I still want people to go and do these courses.
Yeah.
But only if they have the ability to filter through the information.
Yes.
So yeah, like there is certain anatomy in motion coaches who spend all their time using that system and they're absolutely terrible at rehabbing people.
Yep.
But I still recommend the course because I got some really cool information from it.
Right.
So I think that was really good. Dave O'Sullivan is a physio in the UK who was very helpful for me probably 7 or 8 years ago now. So it's like all about the time of what you're looking for at the time. So that grading yourself out of 5 or 10 in those certain areas, where do you need to go? So what else? I like PRI was helpful for me at a time, and now like I can't stand how most people use it.
Yeah.
And I think 95% of what they say and do is wrong, like very, very wrong. But I still look back and I'm like, that was helpful for me.
Yep.
Because I never drank the Kool-Aid. I was just like, oh, I like this and this.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
So
that's
it's hard
my entire
to recommend
coaching philosophy.
Yeah, exactly. But but people ask me, do you recommend their course? I'm like, what type of person are you?
Yeah, it depends.
Because if you're the wrong type of person, then definitely no.
Are you going to be driving your car, sitting so that you have a left hip pulled back, breathing into a balloon on your way to work in the morning? Like, are you going to go that far?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you don't have the ability, if you don't have a good view of life, like understanding of like fundamental physics principles and principles of how human beings operate and psychology and all this stuff, those courses won't help you because you'll learn the wrong shit. So yeah, those are 3. I really like Franz Bosch.
Yeah. I only got through like the first 4 chapters of that.
Anatomy, strength training and coordination. That's a good book.
I mean, so good, but fuck.
Yeah. So I disagree with most of how Franz Bosch trains people, but I love how he questions training itself and the transfer of training. Everyone talks about like training transfer as like, do this and you get this. Not so sure about that. So that's one thing he questions, and he doesn't always get it right, I'm sure, but he tries at least to get into like the science of transfer of training. And then the second thing is he talks about negative transfer of training, which I love. People always say like, if you do this, you get this. What about if you do this, you fuck this up? So Franz Bosch is very like adamant about that. So I kind of enjoyed a lot of his takes on that. So yeah, hopefully there's some good people.
I think that's an amazing list. All right. We're going to do a hard out here. I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, Squat Wedgies, Train Heroic, Aleco. We're powered by Vald. David, at some point, we're going to have you on again for the you might be the first three-peat that we ever have. Everybody who is listening and watching, thank you. We appreciate you. Remember to subscribe and like. It helps us out a ton. And we'll see you next time.